Hello, David.
Hey, how's it going?
Going good.
So, have you escaped or are you still there?
Nah, I'm still here. Uh, Oh, right. I turned off my camera.
So it's black. There it is.
Yeah.
All right, floppy sign is funny.
Yeah. Also the shell script fork bomb.
Can't read it, I guess.
It's probably because I haven't adjusted my aperture correctly.
It definitely was DNS. Yeah. Is the fork bomb the thing in the with the smiley faces and
Yeah.
okay. Yeah. Can see parts of it.
Yeah. All the trash that I neglected to put away.
So I don't know who will show up. So or if anybody will show up. So it may just be you. We'll see.
That's fine.
That's the idea though. I don't know. It's an experiment.
People just hang out. Yeah. We'll
Yeah.
talk about
Yeah, whatever.
cool.
So, what's next for you? Are you thinking about doing something? I know we kind of talked a little bit, but
I know. I like kind of like having a 9 to 5, but let's face it, corporate America these days, 9 to 5s are not what they used to be.
yeah, I hear you.
They used to be like, oh, we're gonna work you to the bone. I'm like, well, I don't even take that job. So
Yep. Not being worked to the bone now?
yeah, I'm not. In fact, some would say I'm not being worked to the bone, but I'm getting all these obnoxious goddamn things people want to do. Like I just got put on this project taking over for somebody who left, and they're just like it's just not fun. Like the work there, like everything's an anti-pattern.
Right.
So I'm like, why would you do it this way? Like security reasons. Like you can't articulate. There's no security reason you can articulate to me that would justify this. You know,
Yeah. Because we want it.
that's because it's what they figured out. Without they wanted to change as little as possible, and what they wound up doing is just like saying, well, I'm gonna screw over the tech guys and like, but they're paying us by the hour. So it's like, I don't know if you're really getting over here. Like you're just blowing your budget on things the issue is basically that they don't allow you to touch the infrastructure directly. Everything has to be done through CI/CD.
Hmm.
I'm like, but I can write anything I want to CI/CD.
Right. And then delete it so you don't even know it's there. I can even
Right.
rewrite the history of what went into Git.
Right. So it's like, and I don't understand. Like, I don't give a shit. It's fine. Whatever. Anyway, I I don't think it's the protection they think it is. And it is very obvious that whoever's doing this stuff is just not, they're operating from the position of fear rather than from a position of power.
Right.
So, and that's it's very frustrating, but it's also like I don't care. It's like I just like okay, cool, everything takes forever, great, congratulations. I now have 6 hours a day to build to a project where I'm not expected to get much done.
Right.
Fine.
that yeah. Then you don't get much done and you wait until the last moment and then you're like, okay, now I'll get it done.
Yeah, exactly. And that's the thing. There is no last moment. The project continues until it's done.
Right.
And it's like, okay, well, I made this change. Cool, run it through the pipeline. An hour later, I got an email says like, yeah, I misspelled something. Okay, I'm gonna fix that. Commit it to main. Now I'm cluttering main. Runs the pipeline. Okay.
Oh, this is exactly why I tell people hourly billing is bad
Yeah. Oh shit.
because you end up, I mean, you may not, you, the individual, right?
Yeah.
Especially as a soloist, as a fractional, since we're, on topic here, right? You individually might not, but as it stacks up and people are involved, you can easily get to that point of, I don't really care about delivering the value. I'm not even allowed to care about delivering the value. I'm here to pad time.
Right. And that's a lot of the stuff is like I've been in plenty of projects where billing hourly was absolutely fine. And I've been in plenty of projects where, well, this was a mistake.
Yeah. And
Just
as soloists, anytime you're billing hourly, it means you can't do anything else.
yeah, to a point.
Right. I mean, you you're very limited in how much
Yes, you
how
you
you
do
can
not.
scope
Yes,
it, and yeah. And
right. And again, a lot of stuff like oh, I'll charge you for 2 hours to do this. Who else out there does this? You know, it's like, oh, you want me to I want to set up a few instances. Okay, fine, I can bill hourly for that because I very narrowly scoped, whatever.
right,
Oh, you want to set up an automation system that sets up instances for you? Like, okay, there's about 1,000 people in the U.S. that can do that
right.
and are willing to do it right now. So I'm very limited.
Yep. I was walking a team through the high level, like, this is what's possible for doing a, hardware setup automation. So, you and I know that's Kickstarter, right? All
Right,
the things we need to kickstart a machine. So from the automation, what do we do? How much of our BIOS can we pre-configure? And then how much of the bootstrap? So we can just net boot things and kickstart from there, and the machine's configured and config management takes over, right? Plug
right,
machine in. We already know what its MAC address is, so we can assign that and boom, go, right? And in modern world, we can configure more and more of that pre-work through what's the why has my brain lost it? The open source ILO DRAC,
yeah.
the things, right?
Through any of the open access systems, through I oh god, I forgot the name of the thing. The
Yeah, exactly.
yeah, but yeah, I can basically say, cool.
Yeah. And we just build
This,
around it and automate it. And it's like, this is entirely possible. The problem is there is like 1,000 people. This is a once in a career thing. Engineers don't get to automate data center build outs every day.
right,
Even 10, 20 years ago, they didn't get to do this. This was, you come into one company, you get that opportunity to be at the ground level when you're building it out and learn
yeah,
how all this stuff works. And
yeah,
then you stop doing it because it's all built.
right,
And now in Cloudland, those people, like what Google does, what Microsoft do, what Amazon do to provision hardware is unique to them.
yes,
It's not, I mean, I talked to early on, I just landed in an interview with a somebody that was building out a bunch of automation for Microsoft that I am certain became part of what became Azure.
hmm,
And they weren't talking about it like that. They were talking about it from a different viewpoint, but I suspect that's the automation team that ended up building the bootstrapping Azure. And
yep,
and they're like, we have the ability to spec the interfaces. We tell them, hardware manufacturers, what our switch interfaces look like.
yeah,
If they say no, they don't get the contract. So
right,
we are sitting here defining the APIs for what we want. And I'm
right,
like, oh, brain explode. I wish we could do that.
yeah. But I mean, and that's great. And for that sort of build out, yeah, it's great. But I mean,
Yeah.
like they don't want to help us. They don't want to do that. And they've made enough changes now that in most clouds, mostly AWS, mostly Google, not so much Azure. You can basically just bootstrap pretty easily
Yeah.
anything.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like,
And now, when you're coming into the cloud, instead of building the cloud, it's completely different. Everything you do is different. It
yep,
has, it almost has no bearing, no relationship to how we would build that out if we need to stand up 200 servers a week, which is
right,
what the team's goal was, right? They needed to stand up 200 servers a week.
right. Yeah, is what it is. But yeah, I've been mostly looking to like right now, like most of my problems are really like around the work. It's mostly around like how do you find these people? Like where do I hang out with? Because I've always found that the most important thing is one, always be adding value when you're talking to people, and
Right.
in particular, is be where the people are that need your services. And number one's easy. Number two is not.
Number two is not. It is,
Until you,
that's the hardest problem.
until you find your space, you're really just like.
Right.
So I've been trying to get in with like the Boston startup crowds and stuff because they all but that leads to its own problems. The biggest one is you start dealing with VCs and VC type people, and I think they're scum. Not all of them, obviously, but most of
Sure.
them they're just like, why am I dealing with these people?
Right.
Not worth my fucking time.
I hear you.
Yeah.
So, I mean, are you looking to kind of stay in the cloud implementation side of things?
Yeah. I mean, I'd rather just want to hang around. They sort of do the AWS provisioning, automation, that sort of stuff. Like I've got my own little business things I'm doing. I'm doing one now for automated forms processing. That's just like, yeah, it's a little thing. Like all your WordPress people, just like here, just send your forms to here and send it into WordPress, and it just deals with eliminating spam, harvesting all the useful data out of it, and blah blah blah. So yeah,
Cool.
so yeah, little shit like that, and like yeah, that'll bring in a few thousand a year. You know, if I can find the right clients, advertise in the right spots, won't be too bad. You know, but I'm much more concerned about like the bulk money.
Yeah. Yep.
Like I want to go out there, like my ideal thing is just like, hey, I want to go. Oh, you want this done? Cool. Let me figure it out. Write you the Terraform, CloudFormation, ARM templates, whatever the hell you need, and we'll just hand them off. Give you and consult on any changes you want to do, and sort of be around for changes later on.
Yep.
Build up a crew of that, and just make sure they're on my mailing lists. Put out some videos occasionally to remind them I exist. Shit like that.
Are you still doing your videos now?
I've been trying to. It is very tough because um, I keep trying to make videos that are too much content for one
Right.
video, too much
Yep.
content for what I want to put out. Like I want to put out something that's super useful, but I can put out something super useful for tech guys, um, which is cool. Doesn't get me any business. I put out stuff that's super useful for business guys, cool, but they're not in that circle of people who are going to watch my videos. So
Right.
I have to reach out to them. So it's a bit more of it's a bit of a balancing act. Like, and I haven't figured out the key to just like, okay, what can I bang out a 9-minute video or so, write it, record it within a day, send it off to an editor, have it back in a week or so, and just put it out. All right. And because most videos, you gotta go do something like, like, hey, I want to, like, here's a quick trick in ECS if you want to move your Docker compose files to ECS now that they don't support it. First, we're going to fire up, this, you chat GPT, I'm going to run this Python script on it, boom, 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 boom. There you go. Very
Right.
useful. We'll hit my target market instantly. Everyone will love it.
Right. But they're not buyers.
They're not buyers.
Right. What problems are the buyers looking for? I mean, I suffered this problem too, right? This is
Yeah.
why I got out of the implementation side. Well, one of the reasons I got out of implementation.
They all have the same problem. It's just that they're implementing shit.
Yeah.
Uh, most migrations are led by the people who are there who aren't experts. And then you wind up with like, yeah, we moved a bunch of instances and it's like 6 times the cost. I'm like, yeah, of course it is. You're using somebody else's, you're doing the same thing on somebody else's stuff.
Yep.
You've, you're basically paying double what you should be paying at least double what you are now. And if you're not paying of your TCO should have doubled,
Right.
that's all
I know tackling it from a cost savings perspective, we know that's hard and that's Corey does it so well.
right. But again,
But it's okay to piggyback on Corey too, right? Like,
I don't mind. I have him. He's in one of my videos.
yeah.
Yeah. And
Um,
it's great, but it's also like I don't want to talk about like cost isn't everything. Like
right, exactly. Cost isn't everything, but I wonder what play would get somebody's attention. I mean, so if you're thinking like short form, like 10 minutes, is that what you're?
I'm shooting between 10 minutes. I mean, obviously, it can go in either direction as needed. But yeah, I don't want to go. I don't want to do like 25-minute deep dives into fucking like Terraform unless it's entertaining. So like I don't know if you've like I like videos like who's that guy? Jeff Green. I don't know. He basically does stuff on Arduino's ARMs, and he's been trying to get a graphics card to run on fucking Raspberry Pis for the past 3 years. And but yeah, he does really good videos. They're entertaining. They're technical, but they only appeal to nerds.
Right.
But he's selling stuff. But he's selling stuff nerds buy. So I guess cool.
In which case it works. Right.
It's fine for him.
Yeah. David Busby and I have been doing some stuff. We've been recording some stuff. He's been publishing it. I haven't been. I'm mostly there.
Yep.
and it's very much in his style and tone, and we don't know who an audience is. It's just two people talking shit basically.
Yeah.
And it's, if there's an audience, it's going to be tech guys.
Yeah.
We
I have a friend of mine who wants to do like a tech podcast, and I'm just like, number one, you have made so many fucking insulting jokes to people I have seen recently that I am not taking a risk of getting on air with you. Um, Number two, you sent me 15 religious memes in the past week, which tells me I probably will say something offensive to you at some point. So
Yeah, well, there you go.
it's like, tough. It's a tough one, and more importantly, I don't think we have anything interesting to say. You know, what do they call? What do they call more than two guys hanging out together? It's a podcast, and it's like there's nothing to say. Like, yeah, a bunch of bearded Portuguese guys like talking. Like, who fucking cares? Like, I need something interesting to talk about if we're
Right.
going to go that route, and I want to make sure that the whole point of it is like, hey, you know. But yeah, my target demographic is in fact like people who run businesses, is
Yeah.
CTOs,
Right.
and I don't know how to fucking get in front of them.
I failed the frick. I succeeded in integrating myself into the CTO world.
Right.
I failed to attract them as buyers or figure out anything they would buy.
Mm-hmm.
That I think we from the ops world have, when I talk to Mike Julian, I always look at this whiteboard because I wrote it over there, even though I've erased it. I erased it last year finally, back in 2019, I guess,
Yeah.
2018, when I
Yeah.
was starting that. Okay, what am I doing next? And
Yeah.
I talked to Mike, and you know, because he'd gone through his path after we worked together at Peak,
Mm-hmm.
and wound up, at Duck Build, not
Yeah.
being an ops guy, not being a sysadmin.
Right.
And he played the consultant card for a while, and I'm like, what does this look like? And he said, people won't buy what we do. And I said, okay, I hear you. I accept that you've experimented with this, you've tried it, and I'm gonna go in and try it anyway. And he's not wrong. It, they only get to buying what we do when they've failed, and they don't want to admit they've failed, right? A CTO doesn't want to admit they've failed
Right.
because it means that they didn't put the right team together, they didn't make the right decisions, and now they got to bring somebody in from the outside.
Right.
And that's why I think they're almost never going to be a buyer.
Fair enough. Yeah, that's a good point. The one I know who is like, Nate,
Yeah,
he got pulled into that role specifically because the past teams
sure.
failed miserably.
Yeah.
And they brought him in, the VCs brought him in.
Yep.
So they're like, no, get this done. We're bringing in a guy.
Right.
And he's that guy. And I'm like, good luck.
Yeah. Yeah, we'll see how the new thing works. And I don't know. I mean, I think that the easy place are startups, right? Where they haven't yet built a team. They haven't tried, but man, they sure wish they had a thing. They're either doing it too late or too early, but it's not our problem to tell them because that's not what they're hiring us for.
Right.
Right? Okay, come in and I'll automate all the things for you. And enough of the things, because somebody said in the playbook said you should automate all the things. Okay, great. Let's get somebody in to automate the things. Even
Yeah. And I think you're right. Like a lot of this is just like the answer to this is very simple. Buddy up to the VCs and the people who work with these companies and just like, yeah, cool. I'm the guy that they send in when people start talking about like, you know, I find it's very important, by the way, to have a thing is like when they call me, if you start hearing the following phrases, that's where I can start helping because
Right.
that makes things very easy for like to know like, yes, I can do this. Like,
Right.
our cloud bill is expensive.
Right.
Everything breaks. We have people on call all the time. Those are the sorts of things that can fix you. It takes us more than 5 minutes to get software into production.
Right.
You know,
Write those down. And I mean, I'm recording this, so
yeah,
but write those down because those are good. If you can use those as there's your right
that's
there
right.
are a couple of videos.
That was a good point. That was a good point. But yeah,
their videos, their blog posts, their LinkedIn. In fact, that can be
I
when
typically make a video and then the blog post follows it to have all the detail from the video
okay,
brought to the video, and then the LinkedIn post just links to the video with blog links to both really.
right.
And
LinkedIn's newsletter, which you've probably seen I'm using, I'm just doing a copy of my blog post into the newsletter.
yeah,
From the newsletter, I can link out, but
yeah,
you're penalized anytime you link out of LinkedIn system. But if you put the blog inside their newsletter and link to it inside LinkedIn, you don't get that penalty. Um,
okay,
and so it gets shared organically around. So I see views and stuff around that a post doesn't necessarily see. It's a useful tactic because so like I said, and then like inside that I might link to other blog posts, or I may even link back to say, hey, this is where this one is, or whatever. But it's a thing. But when you're thinking about content, I mean, you need a strategy, right?
hmm
You need a point of view,
hmm
you need an audience. Your point of view and your audience. So right now you've got a point of view, like
point of view is not a problem.
the on call, right? But if you write it down, you can keep it focused, right?
Yeah,
Say, okay, I'm looking for this is my point of view. You shouldn't have to have teams on call. Your cloud bill should be 10 times cheaper than it is now, right?
hmm
Take these,
yeah,
have this opinion and use that. Figure out what those things are. I mean, you know what they are, but keep focused on those and then figure out how. And honestly, you could just say, what, target an industry,
yeah,
right? Because we know all these things apply to everyone. So content needs to be targeted in order to find a target to hit
hmm
its mark, right?
yeah,
So like if you say I'm targeting fractionals, it
yeah,
winds up in front of fractionals. If I'm just targeting anybody that's writing software, it doesn't go anywhere.
right.
So
Yeah, that's my old vertical is payroll.
okay, right. I mean, you can stick to that if you want to. I mean, or pick something else,
Well,
but
the reason I don't want to stick to it is simply because there's only about 1,000 service bureaus in the U.S.
right.
and two
Yeah.
of them dominate.
Yeah. And they're not going to hire you.
They're not going to hire me. In fact, they've got a great system. Like
Yeah.
ADP has a fantastic system for doing this shit already,
Right.
and Paychex does as well. So both of those are fantastic. So now there's the other 998, and I've
Right.
helped about 50 of them. You know, great. Um, but at this point, it's like, yeah, it's all in the cloud now,
Right. Well,
and
so pick something else, right? I mean,
right,
honestly, it almost doesn't matter what you pick other than that it exists. It can be fairly small and niche. Like having 1,000 isn't bad because you can target into that niche very easily.
yeah. But I have to know it. But the thing is, when you're picking a new vertical, you got to pick a new vertical.
You've got to pick it.
You're new
You
to
got to pick it and you got to go research it. You got to go develop why your opinion matters to them and how to say it in a way that aligns with them.
And I think it also helps to have a sort of a proven solution in their space.
True,
So,
but you can make that shit up.
oh, sure.
I mean, it's fucking software. We're just running it. It doesn't matter.
I need to find I need to find a software that runs in my space that, like doesn't drive me nuts to implement. So a lot of stuff though is SQL Server based, which is like, okay, that's cool. And everything's Windows behind it. It's like, okay, it's getting less cool. And then like everything is just like you have to run it 24/7. There is no way around that. And it's just like, why are you get a data center? You
Yeah,
don't
right.
need cloud. This is a data center build out. A short one.
Yep.
What's that say there?
The meeting schedule is about to end. Really?
Yeah, okay.
Thanks, Fireflies.
Yeah. I have a my secondary screen on my teleprompter so I can look directly at the camera. I can do one of these the whole time.
Oh, my camera's just on the corner of my screen, so I just
Yeah.
that's my, you know.
Yeah, mine is it's a small cinema camera that's just off the side of my widescreen. So it's like, yeah. When I had two computers, I would just put it between two of the monitors and like, yeah, cool. Let's look right
Right.
at.
Yep.
I have to do this bullshit.
Well,
But
got,
yeah,
got 5 minutes more of the schedule, but I don't know. Um, well, I mean, I think spending some time to think about like what it is. I mean, it can just be terraforming your AWS and trying to and focusing on, building more efficient, doesn't have to be reduced infrastructure, right? And how you can build simplified infrastructure. It's the same thing, right? Like, this is what a simple infrastructure looks like. Somebody posted, they commented on one of my posts, and I followed them back, and they had a post about that they came in and somebody built the usual, big consulting house, massive Terraform monstrosity, and it worked day one. It worked fine, but then, and it had change approvals and CI/CD and all these things, and they came in and they just ripped it out and fired up a VM and let this team who had nothing. They had one application that needed one server, right? Just Docker compose this thing out, and there it is. It's all Docker compose.
Yeah,
Simple is good. You can add complexity later.
Yeah, no, that is a thing. And this is one thing I did when I was just an IT.
Somebody.
When I was an IT consultant back in the day, I absolutely would always just like, okay, so you have to support about 20 or 30 people, and you need these sort of enterprise features, and the rest of these can just be bullshit. So I'd usually throw in VMware just because because I like to separate stuff out. And God, everyone who came in after me was always like, why did you do it so complicated? I'm like, well, because watch this. And I'd just turn off one of the servers, and nobody'd notice.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, that used to be $3,000.
Yep.
But like, yeah, and it's faster than anything you're going to do. So yeah, it was cool. And they could and do this. And then 5 years later, when they're trying to do it, yeah, your systems are 7 years old now, and you need to replace them.
Yep.
Like, oh, it's too expensive and do this. How about you move it all to how about you move everything to containers in an AWS where you run your production site? Yeah. Anyway.
Yeah.
All right. I appreciate that. I'll probably swing by next time you have one of these.
Sure. In theory, it's going to be every Monday. We'll see what happens.
Go,
man. Talk to you later.
Or don't. I'm not your father.
Free audio post-production by alphonic.com.